Today we're going to be spectating the Season 2 Rank 1 Hawkeye, who's a diamond player, to see what he does better and how we can improve together. So we have our guy here, the Muffin Man. That is his name. And we're going to be spectating him. Now, when it comes to Hawkeye, it's not a hero that I have tons of playtime with, or barely any actually. But it'd be good to see how these players play him, as he's definitely a solid character within the new meta. I know how his kit works in general, just from testing, so I can understand like the fact that his melee strike actually deflects bullets back to enemies, things like that. Which, if you didn't already know, that is a thing, by the way. But right now he's just firing shots. Obviously Hawkeye does tons of damage, so if you're trying to take out a flyer, Hawkeye's a really good choice to kill flying heroes. Doesn't look like the enemy team has any though. They do have a Spider-Man, which is trying to land shots on, which is going to be incredibly hard. Uses his Sonic Bow. Doesn't land anything with the Sonic Bow. The Sonic Bow should be really used for, again, those kind of divers or flying heroes. Just firing shots down range at the moment. Obviously, he's going to be outputting tons of damage. He's trying to hit a shot on this Black Panther, which is going to be really difficult. He should be spam firing when it comes to trying to hit dive heroes, in my opinion anyway. It just makes it a lot easier to deal some kind of damage instead of trying to land the perfect shot. So he's got some overshields here with the rocket team up, and also he's going to be dealing extra damage too. And that is how you could take out a hero in like a one shot, man. I want to see how much damage he does to tanks, really, when he has all these team ups and damage buffs. That'd be really interesting to me. He knocked back the Black Panther, but still died regardless to the Thor ultimate. Like I said, I want to see how much damage Hawkeye can do. Obviously, could take out like the low HP targets, which we all know anyway. But I want to know, like, when he's shooting this Venom, for example, which he wasn't really doing. He was kind of ignoring the Venom, which you can do. It makes sense to do that. You don't always need to be shooting tanks, or you shouldn't be shooting tanks all that often anyway, to be fair. But I want to see like how much damage can he kind of pour into these guys. And as you can see there, he was doing a lot because his Emma Frost was helping him out as well. So there's a Venom on both teams. And this is where, if the explosive bow was actually useful, you could use that, but almost 90% of the time you never want to use it, right? So you'd rather spam fire, so you're firing a bit quicker to get some damage done to the dive hero. Now he's using his ultimate, which is actually incredibly strong, by the way. Hawkeye's ultimate is actually really good. And you don't need to charge his bow to deal the max amount of damage. You're going to deal max damage if you spam fire, just so you're aware of that. So don't be charging your bow when you're in ultimate. So they managed to cap the point really well. He's doing a really good job, like I said, of just outputting damage. He's breaking the cover on the walls and stuff here, which can be extremely useful, especially since they've got a lot of dives, so they will be trying to stay behind the walls. You can obviously pull off a flank, for example, on the enemy team. To be fair, like, this Venom's getting healed up very well, but he's chunking good damage out of the Venom. He's trying to land the perfect shot on that Spider-Man, which is obviously what kind of Hawkeye's playstyle is. Like, I completely understand people that want to play Hawkeye. That is insane. Was that a headshot? I did not know you could do that. I did not know you could absolutely just wreck a cloak and dagger out of the ultimate form. That is nuts, man. I'm going to assume that was a headshot, right? A fully charged headshot. But man, that was nuts. That was insane. Absolutely cancelled that ultimate. Wrecked the cloak and dagger, man. I mean, you can kill through most healer ultimates now with the way they have like nerfed most of them. But I didn't know that. That was crazy, man. I thought it was only Magneto that could kind of tank that, or Iron Man. But that's not even an ultimate attack. That's just Hawkeye's base primary if you charge it up. Back in ultimate again. He's going to deal a lot of damage to the Thor, but he doesn't die. His teammates are pushing really well here as well. Thor's there, misses his shot. This guy's clearly a better Hawkeye than me, but one tip I would give him is just to kind of spam fire a little bit more. Because I would rather be dealing some kind of damage than dealing kind of like the perfect shot and not always getting a hit. Like right here, he's obviously going to charge up fully because you have to make sure the bullet goes as far as possible. But if there's a target like super close, right, and they're diving you and it's hard to track, then just spam fire your bow. It's nothing against that.
Just what the doctor ordered.
I like the fact that the reticle closes and then opens even if you adjust it. I didn't realize it could do that. Up against the Emma Frost. Emma Frost will wreck him right now. Yeah, he's got no chance. Again, he's back in the fight. Just firing shots at range. I think when he starts dying a bit more is once he starts pushing up too forward. Turning up his shots again. Gets a good pick there. I think that was Black Panther. I don't even know who he just killed there. The enemy Emma Frost was ulting there. He managed to do his own ult. He can kill the hell out of ultimate. Again, charging his bow, dealing damage, shooting through the shields. Try to block or deflect back the Emma Frost primary. Sonic boom. Firing the shot, gets the pick there. Nice. When pressure's applied to a player, Hawkeye can definitely do really well. Oh, wow, what a deflection. I'm thinking now, if you're sitting with Hawkeye and you're inside an Unk of Moon Knight, can you just deflect the whole thing? Now that we're halfway through this video, if you are enjoying it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as we will be spectating high-level players, low-level players, and any world records that come in between that. Hawkeye's a hero that I don't really use at all, if I'm being honest, but it's good to see how people can use him, since he is going to be meta within Season 2 for at least the starting portion of this season. He can output tons of damage, as we've seen, and he's good against flying heroes as well. But is there any other value we can get from Hawkeye? Let's jump straight back into it. We're on the defending side now, and as you can see, he's posted up on this kind of high ground here, where you can see the enemy players. They've got Doctor Strange now, which is a bit strange seeing him in Season 2. I feel like we've seen so much Strange last season, and we're not seeing any Strange now this season. But like I said, he's just firing shots down range, sitting behind his front line, which is what he should be doing. Just putting down tons of damage. He's basically just firing shots in that cluster of enemies. He doesn't even really need to be accurate here, because I don't really think he's aiming for anyone in particular, if I'm being honest. There's too many people clustered together for him to actually aim for anyone. And I don't really think he should be trying to kill this Doctor Strange, because as soon as he gets his shields out, it doesn't matter anymore. He can focus the Punisher, which is not a bad target to focus here. And he's got his ultimate now, which he can just keep spam firing absolute damage. Insane ultimate now. Wow. You might get 2 kills. Oh, double. That's insane, man. Hawkeye's ultimate's actually really good, man. Like, I think it's actually one of the better ultimates in the game. Especially DPS ultimate. Because some DPS ultimates are not good, man. Some of them are fucking terrible. That's the only thing with, like, DPS heroes like Hawkeye. Because he's so accurate, you kind of need to pick your targets well. And I think that's the most important thing, because unlike someone that outputs tons of damage or constant damage, maybe like a Punisher or a Moon Knight, you could just kind of spam fire into anyone you want. Not that you should do that, you should always pick your targets, but when it comes to those heroes, you're a bit more forgiving for spam firing, where someone like Hawkeye, you kind of really need to select your targets properly. He was trying to deflect some of the damage there. And back on his ultimate again. And he might get a quick pick here, it depends, but the enemies are very, very close together right now, so He does get a pick on the support, I believe. I think it's a Luna Snow. Is it a Luna Snow in the enemy team? Yeah, it was a Luna Snow he killed there. This Hela's a good target to kill. Very good. Hela was a good target to kill because she was singled out, she was on high ground, and basically 90% of the time he should win that fight because he does more damage, and Hela has low HP. He's using the explosive rounds now, and they might be able to hold this off actually, and they'll probably win this round here. Loads of damage to Thor. Knocked him back, which was good. It was a good knockback. He hadn't really used that ability too much earlier on. And I know the Sonic arrow's great at taking out flyers because it allows them to kind of get stunned for a bit as well. And brings them down to the ground too. Can I get the health pack now? Thor's on him. Needs to just stay here. Focusing the Hela again, which was a great pick. Again, when he's focusing the correct targets, he's doing absolutely insane. That's just unfortunate, man. Gets the respawn though. Rocket, having a Rocket constantly now is just insane because you can't play without Rocket now with the reses. So that's the enemy team Rocket, I believe. That got the ultimate. Agamotto'd, but he's in the healer ult. And then another healer ult, which might get the push for the enemy team here actually because all of them are on the point. He's back in the fight now. And the enemy team got a decent push on here. They managed to push up quite a bit, if I'm being honest. All those ultimates definitely got them the point. Hela ultimate now, and he's got a damage buff and the overshields from his rocket. And he dies, but he gets the res. But this res beacon's out in the middle of nowhere. That is such a strange place to put a res beacon. And like I said, I'd like to see him spam fire a bit more. I think that's where he would get a few more kills and a few more picks. Like at this point, you could destroy that beacon a bit quicker by spam firing. Spam firing actually deals the same amount of damage within a second as charging your bow up. So you can use both. It works extremely well, especially at close range, right? I wonder if they buffed his explosive bows because they're not really all that useful at all, if I'm being honest. It's like the most pointless part of his kit, almost. So they're getting pushed back here quite a bit. They only need to hold off for 2 minutes, I believe. Gets a pick on the Hela. He's getting good picks on the Hela. Gets his ultimate again. You can get this Thor out. Easy days. Who's he focusing now? Hela again. Nice, nice. And gets a pick on that. Gets a quad on his ultimate, which is absolutely insane. Whoa, gets another kill. Now he's just firing shots out of range, basically. That's what he's doing at the moment. Trying to get a pick. He's looking at the supports from what I can see. And then the Thor is pushing him up now. Focusing the magic. Focusing the Thor again because he's low. That is good target prioritization right there. You can pick the tanks as long as they're relatively low, then obviously you can still shoot them. Because you want to get a enemy out the game, right? You don't want them to have their full squad ever. I've Agamotto'd. And I think he tried to use the symbiote as cover from the Agamotto, but it got cancelled anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Shooting the rocket ultimate. So it only needs to hold the point for about 10 seconds plus overtime. He's got his ultimate. The rest of his team don't have ultimates besides his Hela, I believe. No, his Hela's already used his ultimate now. And the enemy team have quite a few ultimates. So he's used his ultimate here on Thor. Gets a quick kill there. Trying to stay back. Not pushing right in because obviously you don't want to be doing that anyway with Hawkeye. Gets Agamotto'd. Does he deflect that Agamotto? Can you do that? Can you deflect an Agamotto? His teammate get a good push here, and then he's going to take out this Thor easily, and that is the game done. So there we have it. That is our guy, the Muffin Man, who goes 40 and 6 with Hawkeye. Now, this guy's obviously a really good Hawkeye player, and I think he does extremely well in this game. I think he should pick his targets a little bit better and maybe spam fire his bow a little bit more often, especially against dive heroes. But other than that, this guy definitely has the mechanical skill and good aim. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something new, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.